Hey up YouTube! Sorry, it's been a long day. I'm recording all this in reverse because I didn't know what I was going to get done today. And it's getting cold. It's getting really cold. Where's my jacket? Today's video, is going to be, we're going to be looking at potting up and growing, talking a little bit about the care thereof, of blueberry bushes. We're going to talk a little bit about what ericaceous compost is, or why it's called ericaceous compost, I don't know. And we're going to pot up both some 12-month-old and, oh, I have no idea how old, my old mother plants, my blueberries, into some large patio tubs that you could grow at home on your patio or down on the allotment. Can't say fairer than that. If that sounds awesome, if that's the type of thing we do here, we go along for a journey together, please do press that subscribe button, please do press that like button, maybe share my video. If you know somebody that's looking at blueberries, maybe they'll find it useful, share it to them. So I'll see you in a sec down the bottom end of the garden, or of the allotment in this case, and we'll pot up some blueberries. See you in a sec. Hey up guys. See, I'm trying. So what we're going to do now, or today, or this week, is we're going to talk about these guys. This rather nondescript little plant in a pot. This is a blueberry plant, or blueberry bush. This is a young one. This was cultivated from a cutting 12 months ago from my bigger plants. And what we're actually going to do today is we're going to do two of the smaller ones, two of these guys, and two of the big ones into these big Stuart Smithy patio tubs. Stolen this idea off another allotment holder. They did exactly the same a couple of years ago, and their yields on their blueberries have been absolutely amazing. These guys are going to be going straight into ericaceous compost, no mixing. What I'm using for mine today is Westland planting and potting mix. It's ericaceous. Yeah, I've never used this one before. I have some other ones up in the shed if I run out, which I am going to. There's 60 litres, 120 litres. Is not going to go very far in these large pots. So we're going to pot up as many of these blueberries as we can. I hear a lot of people asking about care for blueberries. Blueberry care is simple. They like an acidic soil, which is why everybody says use ericaceous compost. Oh, this is really nice actually. They like acidic soil, which is why people say to use ericaceous compost, which is purposefully acidic. Myself, I recommend growing them in containers. I tried in the soil, and whilst it can be done, and obviously some parts of the country do have suitable soil to grow these guys, not everybody does. So I'm just going to pull this pot down and give this compost a little mix up because it's all quite clumpy. Oh, hey up guys. Sorry, just taking a quick break from the gardening. Whilst I've got you, don't forget, please press that subscribe button, that like button, and that share button. Share it to your social media. It helps the channel out. It lets me know that you enjoy what I'm doing. And also, don't forget, in the comments below the video on YouTube, I always try and be sociable. So don't forget, if you want to talk to me, that's the place to do it. I'll see you later, or I'll see you back gardening. Now I've finished my coffee. And then it's going to be a simple case of transplanting, hopefully this pot. These guys have been in these little pots for nearly 12 months. I decide whether to put a little bit more compost in here actually. It's not as full as I would like. Yeah, this is the stuff that I can normally get my hands on, this Levington's ericaceous compost. It's normally a really good price, but I couldn't get any this time. The Brigg Garden Centre, the place that I normally get it from, didn't have any. And that's not much more, but hey ho. Yeah, we'll go with this. So, yes. Oh, compost. I've left, what, a good 10 or 15 centimetres around the top of the pot. That is actually going to serve me well, because what it's going to enable me to do is to mulch this year on year for a little while without having to worry about taking anything away. And all we're going to do is put this guy in there. So yes, as I was saying, ericaceous compost. It's an acidic compost, which I'll probably get this the wrong way around. I've already been told off once on Facebook this morning for getting it the wrong way around. Acidic is low on the pH scale, not high. And yeah, blueberries like it. They will grow in normal soil. You just won't get as good of a yield in normal soil. The plant won't be as happy. And obviously, a happy plant is a productive plant. But when it comes to blueberries, once again, like the raspberries I've done in a previous video, it really is that simple. Like I said, and what you could do with this now is you could bury this pot. You could have used an old pot and cut the bottom out, bury that in the ground. That will help contain the ericaceous. On my soil generally pH ranges between sort of 7 and 9 across the plot. And I found when I put blueberry in the ground in my first year, the two plants that I still have now, when I put them in the ground, they really struggled. I did dig a big hole and I did fill the hole with ericaceous, and I fed with an ericaceous feed, but it just wasn't enough. The soil was taking too much of the acidity away, and the plants really did struggle. So that's why ever since that year one, I've gone into pots, and I haven't had a good blueberry yield yet, because the ones that I potted up last year into the 30-litre pots, they were given a heavy prune, and they've sort of spent the last 12 months recovering. They did put a few berries on. The birds got them before I did, but they've certainly been happier in the ericaceous compost that they have since been sat in for the last 12 months. So I'm going to go pull one of those mother plants down here now, and that's going to be the next thing I'm going to pot up. I'm probably going to treat that one as a bare root though, because I've got no idea how big the root ball is going to be inside that big pot. So we'll lift this one down and I'll go get one of those. Here we go. Much bigger than the last one, eh? But you can see this was one of the mother ones. There's lots of bud growth ready for next year. It's even tried reflowering again around here. The start of autumn or the start of winter has been that mild that it started to try and flower again. So what I am actually going to do, because I'm potting it up, is I'm going to take those flowers off, because I don't want it thinking about flowering. So yeah, I'm going to actually I might not. Oh yeah. No, I'm going to treat this as a bare root, but I am going to try and save as much of the ericaceous as possible, because it's bloody expensive at the moment. Don't forget, if you get these pots, or don't forget if you get any pots really, they need drainage holes. Blueberries are quite happy outside all year round, which surprised me when I first found that out. I thought blueberries would rather, or were, a warm weather plant, but apparently not. How am I going to do this? Let's use these bags down here. Lay them down like a tarp. Let's try this way first. This is probably going to end in disaster. Oh, well, all the compost is moving. Okay, well, it's got a much bigger root ball than I thought it would. I thought it wouldn't have filled that pot, but it has. It has. It's not by no means root bound. That's, oh, that was a fresh shoot. I didn't want to snap that one off. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a much bigger root ball than I expected, actually. So we'll leave that as it is. I'll put it up there so you guys can see it. And out of the way. So yeah, as before, I'm going to fill this up with Irrigation. Now when it comes to mulching your blueberries, now I've mentioned it, pine needles, conifer wood chippings, anything acidic like that you can mulch with. If you use manure, use it sparingly, although it is mildly acidic, but what I will do is I will mulch these once again with Irrigation in about 6 months' time, just before the growing season starts, and I will feed throughout the growing season with an Irrigation food. Now if you can't find something labelled Irrigation food, there is a product, is it by Westland? I think it's by Westland, called azalea and rhododendron food. It's a granular feed, and that is an Irrigation feed. Rhododendrons, azaleas, they all use Irrigation food. So if you see that, that will work just fine. But they have finally started, actually. I started noticing it sort of last year. They have started marketing, or they have started producing or selling a dedicated Irrigation food in this country, which was not something they were doing, or at least not round by me, a few years ago. And there we go. That's one of the old ones and one of the new ones, all potted up, ready to go to its new position in the soft fruit area. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm not pruning them now. They don't need it. I can't see anything dead or diseased, which I shouldn't be able to really. I am a bit concerned about this branch. That wood is still alive, but that might come off next year. But we'll see. We'll see. It could bud out of this end here again in the summer. But yeah, blueberries potted up. Quite happy with that. I would have liked it a little bit deeper, but it was a bit difficult, a bit cumbersome to try and do. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to get on. I'm going to do at least another one, depending on how far the compost goes. I've got another 2 bags. And I'll talk to you in the shed, and we'll talk bloobs. Right. Blueberries. Well, you've seen how I've potted them on. They were the little ones, were grown from cuttings from the ones in the big pots, and they have been propagated for 12 months. All that growth in 12 months. It's crazy. It really is crazy. They are so prolific and so easy to do. I'll put a link up in the corner, I'll try and remember to put it in the description below, to the hardwood cuttings. They're the same as any other hardwood cuttings, and they're so easy to propagate. And yet the garden centres, they'll charge you for a plant that sort of size that you've just seen me potting on in the smaller pots. They'll charge you £5–10 for those in some instances. So start off with 1 or 2 plants. If you like them, propagate them. If you don't, give them away. Do remember, when it comes to blueberries, most varieties require 2 varieties to be in close proximity. Generally not a problem when you're on an allotment, or 2 plants, preferably 2 varieties, sorry. Not so much of a problem when you're on an allotment, but if you're a back garden grower, try and get 2 different varieties, because a lot of varieties will not pollinate with themselves, so they're not self-fertile. So bear that in mind. There are some hybrids out there that will pollinate themselves, but do bear in mind, if you're getting blueberries and growing them at home, And same for those people that have maybe 1 or 2 plants that bought them at Aldi's or Lidl's or Asda's, and they've got the same varieties, but they're not yielding very much. It's more than likely because you've got 2 of the same variety and they won't cross-pollinate, or they don't cross-pollinate very well. So just bear that in mind if you find that your plants are struggling a little bit. Excuse me a second. It's just dropping a bit cold. What else? Ericaceous compost, worth the investment. You can dilute it if you want with ordinary potting soil, or ordinary compost, or sand, or vermiculite if you want to bulk it out a little bit. As you saw, I did none of that. I'm following in the traits of a gentleman who's done exactly the same, using actually exactly the same pots. And his yield on his blueberries last year was amazing, and they were in there. I think that was their first year in there as well, and he got about 20. I think he told me he got about 20 or 30 pots of jam out of them. Blueberries for us really are one of those fruit that kind of don't make it home. The kids demolish them, and they're definitely worth growing. It's one of the most expensive punnets of fruit you can buy in the supermarket. It's definitely worth growing, both at home and on the allotment. They require so little care, and they're actually a very pretty plant. In spring they're green with white flowers, then obviously the flowers turn to berries which are green and then blue, and then in winter or autumn, as the plant dies back, the foliage goes a vibrant red. Really worth growing, really are worth growing. But yes, the ericaceous compost, it sounds like a very fancy word, but for me, they could just label it acidic compost. That's all it is. It's a little bit pricey at the moment, as are most composts, but it's worth spending the money. It is. The blueberry bushes will pay you back dividends with copious amounts of fruit within a year or 2. It really is worth spending that money. They require very little pruning, very little effort. They're not susceptible to many diseases. They are susceptible to diseases, but not to many. I've had, touch wood, no issues with them yet. I do winter wash them, as I do all my currants and fruits and trees, which will be in an upcoming video. They will be very happy in those containers for years, and all I will need to do each year around this time is top dress those containers, either with some more ericaceous compost, pine needles, wood chippings from somebody that's had their conifers done, or even conifer trimmings. I'm very lucky actually, where I walk my dog is a pine forest, so I could probably go rake up a couple of bags of pine needles every year, which is what I'm probably going to have a go at doing. So, you know, a very low maintenance plant that will give you dividends if you look after it, and it's very pretty. They are very pretty. Propagated by either seed, although that will take a fair bit of time, or with hardwood cuttings. There's no reason not to grow these plants. Honestly, they're amazing. It's a superfood. It's a fruit. The kids love it. Put them on your cereal, juice them, make a jam. I don't care. I just strongly recommend that blueberries are something that you grow. I mentioned in the video about feeding them a chemical ericaceous feed, and this is the one that I was talking about, that if you doesn't say it's an ericaceous feed, but it is. And if you look on the back of the packet, I'm not sure if it's going to show up on camera, but somewhere up here it says ideal for acid loving plants, but yet it says it nowhere on the front. And in this culture of the grow your own that's sort of really taken off during the Verona, I don't understand why it's not marketed on the front. Generally, actually, you can pick this up in supermarkets when they put their gardening stuff out, and if you hang on, it generally goes cheap towards the end of their gardening season. But if you can't get that, what you can also get from your garden centres, and I think I actually got this one off Amazon, and sometimes you will see this in supermarket, is straightforward ericaceous feed. Don't start feeding till springtime. If you start feeding now in winter, it's pointless. All it's going to do is wash through. So start feeding in springtime with this. And I think this says, in fact, yes, this does. This says it's 3 months of feed. This one doesn't say, but it's probably about the same. And all it is a light sprinkling. So those large, really large diameter pots, they're about, I don't know, probably 2 foot in diameter. Sort of half a handful will be enough every 3 months. And then, like I say, over winter, some pine needles, a couple of inches of ericaceous compost, some conifer trimmings, all that good stuff, and they'll thank you for it. It'll help keep the frost off. Not that they're particularly bothered by it, but it'll help keep the frost off, and it'll provide them with feed in spring. Winter wash, just because I've mentioned it and I've got it here, this is the one I use. You can tell that I've had this bottle a few years. It is expensive to buy, but I think I bought this 3 years ago, and it's still going strong. You know, I've still got half a bottle. It's Vitax Winter Tree Wash. The purpose behind that is it helps kill back any fungus, any mite, anything that is laying its eggs on your plants at this time of year, and in theory should reduce down your disease problems going in. And that's stuff I put on my fruit bushes, I put on my fruit trees. Actually, that's about it. Fruit bushes, fruit trees, things like that. I don't think, does it say? Does it say? In fact, I'll read it to you. Vitax Winter Tree Wash is a blend of natural oils and surfactants, formulated to remove insect debris, dust, dirt, and the accumulation of wax and other substances they use to secure their eggs on plants. Winter Tree Wash deprives insects of the opportunity to successfully deposit viable eggs on the plant. On evergreen plants, Winter Tree Wash will help remove the accumulation of dust, grease and other contaminants from the leaf surface, facilitating maximum light exposure for photosynthesis. The product works by purely physical means and is suitable for edible and ornamental crops. The product can be used outdoors or under glass. So there you go. There you go. And that's what that does, and I'll be doing that. I'll probably do it in the next week or so, and then I may, depending on sort of how mild winter is, I may then do it again in sort of January, February time. But don't do it any later than that. You do not want to be spraying your new growth with Winter Tree Wash. You can only do it while the plants are dormant. Guys, that is going to be it from me today talking about blueberries. I am filming videos back to back. You may have noticed in the last few videos my clothes haven't changed. I'm filming 2 or 3 videos whilst I'm down here today. Starting a new job. There's a fair bit going on at home at the moment with regards to starting a new job and things changing. So my time down here is going to be limited. Or at least my time down here during daylight hours is going to be limited. Down here, and we're not even on the shortest day yet. Down here it's 3:15 and outside is going to be unfilmable in about 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm about to start an office job, so it's only going to give me the weekends down here. So hopefully you enjoy what I've been doing and my ramblings on about the plants that we're planting this time of year. As I've said in so many other videos, this time of year is not a time to go, well, I've dug my plot, that's it. If you keep on top of things now through winter, and it's so easy to do, it will pay you back in the new year with so much better produce, less work. So if you keep on top of things now, you will reap the rewards in the new year. Please believe me on that. It's something I've done for years, and I was astounded when I came today and the sun was out and there was nobody here. I was blown away. It was warm, it was lovely, and there was nobody here. And in the entire time I've been here, I think I've seen about 3 people turn up. And they were all people that were coming to look after the chickens. It's, well, it's very different. What's it like where you are? Let me know in the comments below. Is it the same? Are you one of the guys that shuts your allotment down for winter and goes, right, that's it, walks away and then comes back in spring? Nothing against them. I just think, you know what, for the sake of an hour or two every weekend, you can save yourself days of work on the other side. Anyway, we're going off on one. I'll see you later. Don't forget, like, share and subscribe. It means the world to me. Welcome to the subscribers. I will get around to doing the giveaway. I need to message a few of the channel sponsors, see if they want to add anything into the giveaway. But at the moment it's a seed tin. In fact, at the moment it's this seed tin, which I have customized slightly. This seed tin is great. In fact, it's getting a bit dusty now. This seed tin's great, but I just added some hinges on the back. It didn't have any hinges. And it's got loads of seeds in it as well. So that's going to be given away to somebody soon. In fact, I'll be doing a live stream in the coming weeks from the plot where we'll be looking at my primary seeds for next year. Obviously you guys have seen me sort of stocking this up, but growseed.co.uk sent me a batch of their new seeds for this coming year, as well as I've got some things that I wasn't going to be growing that I now am growing at request of family and friends. So that's going to be a live stream. We're going to live stream that hopefully from down here on the plot in the coming weeks. I'm yet to decide when, but stay tuned. Please do subscribe and you'll see that. And that's when we'll do the or we will launch the giveaway, which was meant to be done at 1,000 subscribers for the tin with the seeds in. I think that's everything, guys. I think I'll call it a day. I'll see you later.